It was money. I love making money. It helps. I believe long time ago that money is good. Like money can help. If you get it, then you'll be making a better world for everybody. My biggest investment world, I would say Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. Mark has a unique background because he started from nothing. I met one of my contacts. She's making a VC of $450 million. I would like to change at least 1,000 people's lives.
Hey guys, so my name again, Jewel Wade. I have around 50 plus years working within technology. So today I have a wonderful guest with me, with Abdulla Al-Naimi. So Abdulla has multiple decades of experience working within investment management, venture capital, and also asset management. So today we're going to dive a little bit into his journey, and he's going to talk a little bit about himself. So Abdulla, appreciate the time again.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so Abdulla, if you could just touch a little bit about your background and provide us a quick intro.
My name is Abdulla Al-Naimi. I'm Qatari, born and raised over here. I love traveling. I'm father of 3 kids. My background is a bit of a mix between engineering, project management, but I've been in technology world since I could remember, since I was a kid, because my father has my father background was in IT. I connected to the internet back in 1994, so I'm that old. What else? I love investing in startups and companies. Today, my role within Doha Business Consulting is literally to give advices to people who want to come open companies over here in Qatar. But mainly, my main focus is on funds, how to raise, how to work better in the region. My focus is in South, Central Asia, MENA region, and Africa. So that's in a nutshell what I've been doing lately.
All right, Abdulla, appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then, so touching on that, what made you get into investment? Like, what was the catalyst for that?
Yeah, lots of people will tell you that it's passion. For me, it was money. I love making money. It helps. I believe long time ago that money is good. Like money can help. If you get it, then you'll be making a better world for everybody. I'm proud to say that if you ask my kids what does your father do, they will tell you that my father would be changing the world one startup at a time. I think they heard me say that. I'm quoting, I believe, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. I think he's the one who said that long time ago. So. With that in mind, that's what I want to do, is to change the world, like slowly by slowly. Like I'm investing for everything from healthcare to blockchain to AI to quantum, and everything is moving forward. I say advancing this civilization that we are in.
So who were some of your biggest influences when it came to investing?
My biggest investment world, I would say Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. Mark has a unique background because he started from nothing. He used to sell stamps in the past, which was borderline illegal in US. Then he lost his money. He spoke once about, he gave an advice on the cryptocurrency, yet he was brave enough to stand up and eat humble pie and said, I made a mistake. I appreciate honesty, genuinity of people and what he's doing. The way that he invests, I really like, and I like the way that he carries himself. Like he's not full of himself. At the same time, he's the right person for the job. He believed, he went all the way to buying one of the I think he bought Texas Lakers, and now he's the proud owner of it. Everybody shamed him for doing that, yet he turned around the table for the team itself, being a part of the team. So that's what I love, is that he gained wealth. He utilized his wealth to do something amazing for everybody around the table.
Yeah, definitely. So the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes, Mavericks. Sorry.
Yeah, he was one of the first, tech guys to purchase an NBA team among other investments. So yeah, Mark Cuban, he definitely stands out. And so if we look at, lessons, like what are some of the lessons that you have learned, overall in terms of some of your investments and all in terms of your journey?
I learned my number one thing is due diligence. Study, learn, and ask the question. If the question doesn't come out to you, to ask the entrepreneur or the funds or whatever, then you need to ask it again until you get an answer that satisfies you. everybody, even I learned that again from Shark Tank as well, is that everybody sees the TV show, the 15 minutes, let's say, pitches, and they think that the investment goes through. Yet there's lots of background that happens after the pitches, like due diligence that will look. And most of the time, we have been. You find out that your due diligence is the right way forward. Avoid taking impulsive decision on the short terms or just because you like the products. Focus on having the right due diligence to move forward.
Definitely. So yeah, that's a part of overall risk management.
If I may also add, have an investment thesis, focus on it, do not change it. I always like to say that story of the hedgehog versus hunting with a hedgehog hunter versus a fox. A fox is failure rate is more than 98%, yet with the hedgehog it's 80% that he or she will get their prey, because the hedgehog will focus on what he or she wanna hunt, yet the fox will run after anything. So when you focus and you do your due diligence, you are destined to at least get one right investment or one big investment.
So looking back, I know we spoke about your first investment and that being in Canada. Could you just touch a little bit about that and what was that like for you?
So I was invited by one of my father's friends to join their family firm. I got shares on it that time, and they have lots of IPs. So for them, he taught me a lot of things when it comes to not just IT, but to look into the world differently, like to be a problem solver. I learned that you can teach anybody to master any skills or any job within the first 3 months. What they need from them is that they have their passion, you need their commitment, the willingness to learn. Whether you want to teach them anything, even technical stuff like engineering, like deep engineering knowledge, or whether it's going to be a soft skill like HR, as long as this person is willing to learn, within 90 days they can learn and master any of those skills, given that they have the passion and willing to do, let's say, the job actually to learn and to be passionate about it, like to do it again and again, not fearing failures.
Definitely. So when it comes to technology, I know you spoke about blockchain and health tech and other technologies. Like, if you could put your finger on one, like what technology is exciting you right now and why?
I love to invest usually in either IT, quantum, or blockchain. Lately, one of my friends, he started a company and they are focusing on looking into possibilities of AI hallucination as probability of incidents to happen in logistic world. I'm looking forward to see how does he advance in that. That's one of the things. The other than that is another contact of mine. He's starting an AI model based on quantum computing. The idea is crazy because quantum give you endless, let's say, possibilities and probabilities. At the same time, he's building an AI model based on that, which is it's another level of hallucination that we might be encountering within the next future. At the same time, to quantify the right answer or the right, let's say, the right probability of an incident to take place. So it's always I'm always curious about such innovative ideas. Furthermore, we are starting the blockchain, a blockchain company over here in Doha, to look into let's say logistics from a different point, like to give an end-to-end solution for logistics, basically from the time that you plant a seed to the time that you get a commodity on your plate. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at the current days.
So touching on the thesis that you discussed, right? The fox versus the hedgehog. What would you say is your investment thesis, and why is that?
So my investment thesis has to have 3 things mainly. 1, it has to be Sharia compliance since I'm Muslim. 2, it has to the investment of the company that we're looking at must have a good collection, making money. 3rd, it has one of the 3 components I discussed, which is AI, quantum, and blockchain. I put it this way because of a simple reason. So Sharia compliance is, again, because I'm a Muslim, I'm practicing Muslim, so that's one. Now, why making money? Lots of people will have great ideas. Lots of people will have the most, let's say, wonderful products. Thing is, I want to see them like advancing a bit so that I can make sure. I have invested a lot on ideas, on startups that are early in their stages, and most of them fail because you find out that the entrepreneur, the founder is not committed that much to the business. Sometimes it might be just because the entrepreneur got something in the middle. Like it's not always a mistake, but sometimes what do you call it, the circumstances around the startup goes wild, goes wrong. So that's why I try to avoid that by literally investing in later stages startups.
What would you say to your younger self as a young investor? What advice would you basically give to your young self as a young investor?
Well, first one is that keep trying. You'll not get the right investment. If we go back in time and to circumstances, let me give an example of my own life. Okay, if I stopped looking into investments, it will be funny because I've missed lots of opportunities. A long time ago when we were kids in university, there was this idea for someone who bought a pizza using bitcoins. At that time, a gentleman came to me offering me, $400 worth of bitcoins for £1,000 because I studied in UK. And I told him that's too expensive because it was almost double the amount. And he said it's gonna be a big thing in the future. At a certain time, that reached $2.4 billion. I think something like that. Looking back at it, it wasn't meant to be for me, but at the same time, if you don't have a miss story, then you haven't done enough investment in your life. If you don't have lost stories, then you haven't invested in anything in your life. You have to do it again and again and again. I want to tell all the entrepreneur, all the investor, getting it right, okay, is a matter of constancy rather than damn luck, because you have to do something again and again until you get the right, I would say, coordination, the right thesis. I have my thesis today. If you ask me in 10 years time, I'm sure it will be different thesis. I'm sure I'll be looking at different things, because you cannot focus on just having an eye on cleanse, but just have it enough time to prove that you have done something about it. Let's say, you change your thesis once every 5 years, it's acceptable. But if you change it every month, then you'll be destined to fail. Again, you have to do things again and again in order for you to achieve something. The second advice I would give myself is everything's going to be all right at the end. Difficulties are meant for us to happen, but also great times are always coming. So I would tell myself it's okay. Just stop panicking, be cool about what's happening. Know that life isn't terrible as you go up and down until you find your calling, I would say.
No, sound advice. How do you see the Qatari investment landscape, say, within the next 5 to 10 years?
It's a great question because you're asking me that after Web Summit. The landscape is very promising. We have lots of programs to bring companies in Qatar. The challenges for companies that want to come here is something simple. If people are looking at Qatar as a destination, then they will be having lots of challenges because of this size of the market. However, Qatar is a great opportunity for anybody who want to come to the region, who want to open up other markets, especially you come from the west. Qatar can be your gate toward the east, toward the further markets, because you have lots of connection logistics towards Africa, toward the Far East, compared to someone who just want to focus on the Qatar market. Again, the population of Qatar today is about 3 million people, so there's barely enough I would say purchase power of you that will make your business successful. The market is smaller than people expect. So I advise anybody who will come to Qatar is that you can come, benefit of having all the incentives that you have with us, tax incentives, cash incentives that you might get. I'm not sure if you know that, but you know that if you open a factory in Qatar, you are eligible for an incentive program which will give you 40% of your foreign direct investment you bring, like literally 40%, not taxes. I'm talking like cash in your bank account, capped at $25 million. And this money can be, this investment can be money, actual money that you bring, or equipment that you bring with you over here. You can apply for the equipment. I'm already, my company Doha Business Consulting, as of today, we're already applying we are confirming that we can apply for the for the equipment that we'll be bringing for one of the factories that moving from Turkey to Qatar. So the opportunity is there, the money exists. We need more people to come with great ideas to grow within the market itself, not just within Qatar, because as again, Qatar market is small compared to the world, but you have our neighbors in Saudi Arabia, which is a bigger market, 10 times bigger than us. Then you can access also the whole continent of Africa or Asia as well.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, so so touching on that, plan and vision for Qatar, like what industries would you say are the most interesting right now within Qatar, and also investments coming into Qatar?
So we have the Qatar National Strategy, which emphasizes a lot when it comes to food security, water security, energy. So those are the major, I would say, three things. However, we can also look into other things like manufacturing in Qatar. We can look into, because I'm not sure if you know that, we have the Qatar port now, Doha port, Hamad port, okay, which is next to the airport, and they have their own free zone where you can literally manufacture in Qatar and provide your products outside Qatar. So manufacturing can be a big thing. There are opportunities. I always say we are at the less than 100% mark. So you have a lot of things that you can bring and grow within the country, not just within yourself. We have the supports of lots of multiple programs, like you have the I, where you are offered, which is Qatar Research and Development Institute, where you are offered lots of grants that will to advance your business or to tweak your business. We have the Qatar Development Bank, where you can get anything from an investment all the way to actual loans for your businesses and bank guarantees. We have the Invest Qatar programs, where you can get lots of incentives. Again, the same incentive that we discussed earlier, which is the direct foreign investment incentive, of which you get literally, can you imagine, Jewel, any country you go to and you'll be getting 40% cash into your bank account within 5 years of whatever you invest in it. That's I would say that's your profit up front. Like, even if you don't make money, you still, you're surviving. The other programs, we have lots of programs. As you know, we have the Prime Minister, or Qatar Prime Minister, announced the expanding the funds of funds program to be 2 billion instead of 1. We have multiple VCs around the region that are coming to Qatar, and we have international VCs that are already in Doha. Last week, I met one of my contacts. Her name is Omana. She's gonna be hopefully settling here in Doha. She's bringing an investment. She's investing a VC of $450 million to the region. We have many like those. If you look into the West, we have just here in Qatar, Builders VC. We have Deerfield. We have those are the most famous among the famous ones in the Silicon Valley. If there's nothing for them here in Doha, they wouldn't have a straight office over here. And we have some local ones like Rasmal, like Shuruq Ventures from UAE. We have multiple of them coming to the region as well.
Sounds good. So, if we're looking into the future, what are some of your personal and professional goals, say, within the next 10 years?
I really I'm working a couple of ideas that I'm hoping that they will change the world for the better. Quantum computing is big things for me. Blockchain and AI again. So those are, because I see the future in them. My mom is above 60 and she uses AI. My kids, some of them are under 10, they're still using AI. AI is being part of life as the internet for us. That's one thing. Now, how can we secure them? How can we make sure that they are not, as you know, what you call it, cyberbullying was a term that invented long time ago because of the online chats and everything. I see the greatness of the things. I see the greatness of the internet. I've seen the great things that the internet brought, but at the same time, it brought with it ideologies that we not want. It brought in with it, let's say, some of the psychological problems that we weren't anticipating when the internet was there. So that's one thing. Yet I believe that if we do not move with the future, if we don't utilize that, let me take you to a presentation I gave a couple of months ago. It's with Qaif, the Qatar International Art Festival. I know it's strange for someone from tech background and investment to speak about their art. I put down a question, which is, are we gonna fight the AI or the advancement of technology. If we do that, then we allow the other ideologies to show up. The people who will be harming us, the scammers, the people who will be, as you know, today we have lots of scammers utilizing AI tools just to identify targets or finding out the best person to scam next. That's not funny. A niche that our people are utilizing at the moment. So imagine us, the good people. I love to see us as a good people, or from the good side of the world. So imagine us leaving this capabilities, this strengths to those people. We will arrive definitely to a situation that they will be advancing much more than us. And for me, as a Muslim, as an Arab, the advancement of society has been our challenge and our business since ages. Let me mention something. The first AI tool that people are thinking about today is AI as we know it. Yet there was a famous scholar almost a millennia ago. His name is Al-Jazari. He created AI as we know it. He put down the mathematics for it. He created the first humanoid at that time. So I like to bring such things from history, hoping that we will be seeing more advancement within the whole world, especially my area of the world, that's the Arab world, the Islamic world, to be advancing much better, not looking into the caveat that the technology will bring. And again, as I told you, I would love to look into the advancement and to try to utilize by the good people in order to use it for good, rather than to use the other ideologies that might utilize AI or quantum for the things that we don't want or try to avoid.
What upcoming projects or investments are you looking at right now?
I'm looking to many things, like for the ladies, a heel that will help them to that will be reduced or go up whenever they have a long day of work, utilizing AI algorithms to know that this is the time for you to be a bit shorter, I would say, in order for you to have better feet work. So that's one of the projects that I'm excited about. The other project, as I discussed, the logistics project that we're looking at. So there are multiple of those, multiple AI tools that I'm excited about. Going to the African continent, I'm looking into some of the countries' sandboxes in order to grow them. As you know, 2 weeks ago, we've listed one of the index funds in London Stock Exchange. It is the AT50. We are looking also to post within, I'm praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that within this year we'll post 2 more, which is the AT200 and AT1000. And Africa Technology Fund, 200 companies, another 1,000 companies. People have to look into all continents equally. The West is great because we have the support, we have the idea, but also we have the people, we have the innovation when it comes to the West, to the East, especially like for Africa. People are always telling me why I'm not supporting some of the initiatives when it comes to let's say femtechs and female founders. Most of my founders are female, but I don't want them to be funded because they are females. I give you some numbers, okay? On this side of the world, the Arab world and the African world, there's barely non-female entrepreneur among the best startups when you evaluate. I'm not talking about just the regular ones. I'm not just talking about percentage. I'm talking the best. Like when you take the cream, you find those dedicated founders that are doing greatness. Among them, for example, is someone that I met lately, and she's doing because I haven't done the investment yet, so I'm not eligible to speak about her. So she created the first corona test tubes that doesn't need any cooling. So imagine like you can send those tested tubes anywhere in the world to do certain tests, and she, as of today, I believe that she can do 60 parameters and doesn't need cooling. Whether it's hot or cold, you just ship it and the person can do the testing and then verify whether they are healthy or not. So this is one of the I would say in the health tech and the health care accelerator. Imagine if this lady had an easy because if we do femtech over here, it will be just an easy bypass for women to get funds, and that's what we want. I want the ladies in my portfolio to be challenging. I have a daughter, and you might laugh at me, but when I say that, I still consult my 8-year-old daughter on the people that I'm looking at, because the teams that I'm looking at, she has what I call the female intuition that I don't have as a man. Like she would look into a team and she said, okay, I like this team somehow, I like, and she was always right. She's always right so far. I like it. The women have that strength. Going to numbers now, about 36% of the funds in the region, of the funds of VC funds, goes towards female founders, compared to much less in the West. So that's why, I believe that empowering women doesn't happen with just accelerator for women. We want the challenges for them as much as it's for the men themselves.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
And so outside of investing in venture capital and asset management, like what, on a personal side, like what do you like to do outside of investment?
I like three things as always. Number three is a big thing in my life. So I like long walks,
Alright.
I like traveling a lot, and I like reading.
Alright.
That's why, I'm blessed to have knowledge about, because again, reading helped me with the venture capital world, because you know a lot of things about a lot of things, so it helps you to understand the markets and everything. Traveling give me a first person experience on many things. We might look into some ideas on papers and they are great, but as soon as you deploy them, you find out, okay, where did they do a mistake? I always say, if NASA can make a $1 trillion mistakes, whom are we to compare ourselves? Because the first rover going to Mars, God knows where, because it's somewhere in the big space. So, and we are telling this the same thing. Venture capital is like literally shooting in the dark most of the times. People would come to tell you, okay, I am smart enough that I have done good investment, yet the circumstances will tell us that, as I told you, I missed on Bitcoin, investment of a couple of $1 billion was because I'm stupid. Maybe I was stupid at that time, but I did not see the opportunity. Sometimes you see many opportunities, but none of them found us. Some of them like I know someone who literally threw $5,000 on a business that today it's $1 billion business. Yet I would ask him, how you do this? I don't know, it was just in front of me and I had the money. It wasn't just because he calculated things, yet at the same time, calculation is, what I say is, the due diligence is important. Sometimes you will always have the exception. Don't let the exception fool you to think that the due diligence is not needed. So again, venture capital, as I told you, because I love traveling, I love reading a lot, it gives me the prospect of trying new things, because we always have fear of trying, yet we always have regrets for not trying. And again, long walks, because it helps me discover cities, towns, mountains, seas. Voyaging is a fun business for me.
Definitely. All right, so if we look 10 years into the future, where would you like to be, and what will you be doing?
That's a big question. There are many things, because always, as I say, a person is as a collection of things. Our minds want something, our body wants something. I would like to have solved some of the problems that we have today, mainly water. I come from the GCC, from Qatar. We desalinate water. I lose sleep over water, because I'm always worried about D-days happening anywhere, with this GCC mainly, or anywhere in the world. Water gives life. Even in the Quran it says that water gives life. God clearly says, جَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ, which literally translates, and we lit everything, every living creature from water. So we are 80% water as a human, and water is in everything, whether it's solid, whether it's gas, whether it's the liquid form. So I would love to solve some of the water problems that we have today. I would like to show people as well that the world is a great place. I have friends of every country in the world. I've visited 192 countries. I've seen how good people can exist. I would like to change at least 1,000 people's lives, touch them, and to create at least 1,000 businesses with them, of which they will be hopefully successful businesses, whether they are in Central Asia, whether in South Asia, whether they're here or anywhere in the world. The lady that I told you about with the testing tube, she's from Egypt. So and I have a friend of mine who's from Senegal. He's creating the first, I would say, more of a solution for companies to get points as for doing good deeds, or giving social services, social responsibility services to their employees and the communities. I would like us to be in a stage of which that our kids will be able to create rather than to think about food or scarcity. Yes, challenges are important, but I would like my kids to have challenges that I'm designing for them, rather than to have the wit of life that to be worried about their next meal.
Yeah, no, that's very admirable.
Okay.
So, Abdullah, appreciate the time.
Thanks, Joe.
Love the insight and a lot of gems that you've provided. If people want to connect with you, what's the best way to?
LinkedIn and email. I'm gonna drop you my company's email so that you can post it, and my LinkedIn. You already have my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to get to me. If you find my number on internet, please don't contact me, because it's really, I only have one phone, mobile phone, as you know, and it's really strange when someone texts you. You feel that they are breaching your privacy, and we have lots of. I'm sure everybody's doing it on good intention, but if you're on the other side of the phone, you're not sure, is that an AI, is that a person, is that a scammer? Because we get lots of those all over the world. So if I came to you a bit aggressively on the phone, please understand that it's just trying to figure out who's behind the phone.
Sounds good.
And if you come from this guy, just tell me that he gave you my number so I can go and have a word with him.
Definitely. So Abdullah, appreciate
Pleasure, man.
again.
Thanks a lot.
It was a pleasure.
Hope to see you soon again in Qatar.
For sure, definitely. So, love the insight and look forward to, all the investments and all the impact, right, that you're building and creating. So, good work.
Thank you.